For 4 months, Emma thought she was getting away with it. What she didn't know was that her husband had known everything since week 2. The apartment felt different that night. Not louder, not colder, just wrong. Emma stood in the doorway, watching Daniel sit motionless on the couch, his eyes fixed on nothing. 3 months, that's how long it had been since he really looked at her, since he touched her with anything that felt like love. They weren't a couple anymore, just two people carefully existing around each other. "Daniel," she said softly. No response. "Can we talk?" He turned slowly, and the look in his eyes made her stomach drop. It wasn't anger, it wasn't even sadness, it was emptiness. "What do you want to talk about?" he asked calmly. "Us," she said, her voice trembling. "I feel like I'm losing you. You don't touch me anymore, you barely speak to me, I don't understand what's happening." A faint, bitter smile appeared on his face. "You don't understand why." Her heart started racing. "No, I don't." Daniel stood up slowly, his movements controlled, deliberate. "You really want to have this conversation?" "Yes," she said, almost pleading. "I want my husband back." He let out a quiet laugh, hollow and cold. Then he looked directly at her and said, "For the past 4 months, I've been wondering if you even remembered you had a husband." The room went silent. "What are you talking about?" she whispered. "Don't," he said, raising a hand. "Don't insult me by pretending." A cold wave of panic spread through her chest. "I know about him." Emma felt like the ground had disappeared beneath her feet. "Daniel, You left your laptop open," he continued, his voice steady. 2 weeks after it started, your messages were right there." He walked to a shelf and pulled out a folder. Inside were printed screenshots, dates, times, conversations, hotel bookings, every detail she thought she had erased. "Cloud backups," he said quietly. "Every message you deleted still there." Emma's hands began to shake. "I can explain." "Can you?" he asked. "Because I've spent months watching you lie to my face, every day, watching you smile at me, talk to me, pretend everything was normal while you were with someone else." Tears streamed down her face. "I was confused, I didn't mean for it to." "Stop," he said firmly, "just stop." His composure cracked slightly, just enough for her to see the pain underneath. "You want to know the worst part," he continued. "It wasn't even the affair itself, it was watching you become a stranger, watching you choose someone else over me again and again while pretending I still mattered." "I love you," she said desperately. He looked at her and for a moment something flickered in his eyes, then it disappeared. "Do you?" he asked quietly, "because love doesn't look like this." She had no answer. "You gave someone else what was supposed to be ours," he said. "Your honesty, your loyalty, your trust, and you can't take that back." "We can fix this," she begged. "I'll end it, I'll do anything, therapy, counseling, anything, please, Daniel." He shook his head slowly. "This wasn't a mistake. A mistake is forgetting something small. This was a choice, hundreds of choices." Each word landed like a weight. "I've been dying inside for months," he said, his voice finally breaking. "Waiting to see if you would come back, waiting to see if you would choose me." Emma sobbed. "I'm choosing you now." But he stepped back. "You already made your choice," he said, over and over again. The silence that followed was unbearable. "I'm leaving for a week," Daniel said finally. "When I come back, I want you gone." Her breath caught. "No, please." "It's over, Emma." He paused at the doorway, then added quietly, "I hope he was worth it because he cost you everything." That night Emma didn't sleep. She sat at the kitchen table with a blank notebook, staring at the page for hours before finally writing the truth. Every moment, every lie, every reason she didn't fully understand until now. She wrote about the excitement, the attention, the way it made her feel alive again, and the guilt she kept burying. She wrote about how she convinced herself she could live 2 lives without consequences. By morning, she had filled 30 pages. She packed her things in silence, leaving behind most of the life they had built together. At the end, she placed the notebook on the table and set her wedding ring on top of it. Then she walked away. Daniel read every word. Each sentence cut deeper than the last, but he forced himself to finish it. When he was done, he didn't feel anger anymore, just clarity. He realized something important in the quiet that followed. He couldn't control what Emma had done, but he could control what he did next. He could let this break him, or he could rebuild himself. So he chose to walk away. The first few weeks were the hardest. The silence was heavy, the absence was constant, but slowly he began to rebuild. He reconnected with friends, picked up hobbies he had forgotten, and started to feel like himself again. 3 months later, his life looked different, but it was no longer empty. One evening, his phone buzzed. "Daniel, it's Emma. I just wanted you to know it's over. It didn't mean anything. I'm so sorry. You deserved better." He stared at the message for a long time. Then he typed, "I hope you find your way. Take care of yourself." It wasn't angry. It wasn't emotional. It was final. Daniel put his phone down and looked out at the city. Life was still moving. People were still living, loving, starting over. He realized something then. She hadn't taken everything from him. She hadn't taken his ability to love again. She hadn't taken his future. And she hadn't taken who he was. She broke his heart. But she didn't break him. And sometimes that's the difference between an ending and a new beginning.